The envelope was pale pink, folded with precision. Her handwriting, sharp, deliberate, sat in the corner, "For you." The bride's mother handed it to me like an invoice, not an insult. I opened it in silence. Inside, columns, totals, and one line written in neat cursive at the bottom: "Payment for raising her." Her daughter, the one my son was about to marry, stood beside her, smiling. That small, polished smile, the kind that hides contempt behind courtesy. "Pay it," she said softly, "or there's no wedding." The ballroom went still. Only the faint music from the rehearsal hall hummed in the distance. My son looked away, as if silence could make it disappear. I nodded once, slipped the paper into my coat pocket. Then I left. An hour later, as I sat in the car outside the venue, I watched the light fade through the windshield. My phone buzzed once, her father's number flashing on the screen. I answered. All I heard was panic. "The venue just called. They said, 'What did you—'" He stopped. Then a whisper, ragged, to someone beside him, "What did you just make him do?" They thought I was harmless, polite, predictable. Maybe I had been, once. I built everything for my son, paid for the college, the house, the quiet life he wanted. Never asked for thanks. When he introduced her, I said nothing about the way she looked at him, like a man she could shape, not love. And now here I was, standing in my own shadow at the edge of his wedding, being handed a bill for raising her. That line kept replaying in my head. Pay it, or there's no wedding. Not anger, not humiliation. Something colder moved through me, like the moment before glass shatters. They saw a man who'd swallow his pride for his son's happiness. They were wrong. I began with silence. Silence unnerves people. It makes them fill in the blanks with fear. I called the venue, the florist, the caterer, quiet inquiries, confirmations. Each one under my name, my credit, my guarantees. Then I called my attorney. By midnight, 3 contracts were revoked. 2 payments reversed. The 4th, an insurance clause, triggered a cancellation fee large enough to crush any last-minute recovery. By dawn, the accounts froze. The ballroom, the decorations, the champagne, they all evaporated into thin air. I didn't rage. I didn't call anyone. I simply waited. My son texted in the morning, "Dad, did something happen with the venue? They're saying the payment didn't go through." I replied, "Ask her." By noon, her father showed up at my door. The same man who'd once shaken my hand and promised, "Your son will be family to us." He looked smaller now, the kind of small that comes from guilt, not age. "She didn't mean it," he started, voice trembling. "That bill, it was her mother's idea. She just wanted to—" "To what?" I asked. He swallowed. "Test you." I let that word hang in the air. Then I opened a folder from the table and handed it to him. Inside, photocopies of every contract, every clause, every refund. My signature. Hers too. He stared at the papers like they were loaded weapons. "She asked for control over the finances," I said. "Your wife signed it over to her last month, without reading the fine print." He looked up at me, pale. "She demanded I pay. I did, just not the way she expected." They met me later that evening in the empty hall. No music, no guests, just silence echoing off glass and marble. The bride stood in her ruined dress, mascara streaked. Her mother's face was red, voice cracking as she tried to argue with the manager. My son sat alone at the table, head in his hands. When I walked in, the room stopped breathing. I placed the pink envelope on the table between them. "This," I said quietly, "was the most expensive mistake you've ever made." Her mother opened her mouth, but I raised a hand. "You wanted me to pay for raising her," I continued. "Consider it settled. The venue belongs to the bank now. The bill, paid in full." She looked like she wanted to speak, but no sound came. Only the sound of my son's slow exhale. Then I turned and left. I didn't attend the rescheduled ceremony. There wasn't one. The engagement dissolved quietly, like a body sinking beneath calm water. No splash, no noise, just disappearance. My son stopped by weeks later, tried to explain. I listened, said nothing. He hugged me before leaving. It felt like saying goodbye to a stranger who still wore my last name. That night, I took out the pink envelope again, smoothed its edges, looked at the faded ink. In the end, she was right. I did pay for raising her, just not in the currency she expected. And I never kept the change.